Welcome back. I want to begin by saying thank you for being here. It is week 15 of our 17-week runway, and I know you're watching this because you were called to in some unknown searching way. Maybe you'd call it looking for peace or meaning or a way through something heavy. Maybe you couldn't name it if I asked, but something in you went looking and it led you here. That searching isn't a weakness or to be passed off. It's the most sacred thing about you, the part of you that remembers there's more and refuses to settle for less. So whatever led you here will not be a waste of your time. You may have a shift or epiphany during the course, or you might simply gain the tools that will lead to a new perspective at another time. But either way, it's time well spent. So let me tell you what this book actually is. Underneath the 12 days and the structure I'm about to walk you through, the book rests on three simple foundations. First, that you are whole already, exactly as you are. Second, that there's a power greater than what you know, quietly holding your life. Third, that love is the greatest power there is. That's the entire ground of the practice. When you stay open to those three, your wholeness becomes something you can actually experience. When you close yourself off from them, it slips out of view. Here's the promise underneath the whole book, and I'll give it to you right now instead of making you wait 12 chapters into it. And it's this: you're already perfectly whole. You just forgot. Your searching was never going to be satisfied by finding something new out there. It gets satisfied by remembering something that was always in here. So if you're wondering why it doesn't feel that way, why you don't feel whole even after reading a sentence like that, here's the honest answer. Somewhere along the way, we close the door on those three foundations, and we learn to trust something else instead. For most of our lives, we gathered our evidence from the temporary and the physical. Money, circumstances, being right, how things looked, what people thought. We built habits around all of it, certain it would finally make us whole. And it stopped producing. It doesn't deliver the peace it promised. That's the actual work of this book. Not 12 inspiring ideas. It's a slow unlearning, setting down the old evidence and gathering new evidence in its place. Evidence that you're whole. Evidence that something greater than you is holding your life. Evidence that love is the strongest force there is. Day by day, the new evidence gathers and the mind reverses. What looks so solid, the fear, the lack, starts to dissolve. That's what the 12 days are actually doing. Now, let me explain how. I get one question more than any other in the comments and emails. It says this: I'm interested, I've been watching these videos, but I don't actually know what's in the book or how I'm supposed to use it. Fair. So on top of what I just told you, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's inside the book, how the 12 days are structured, how the pre-sequences work on the page, and what the journal and study guide actually add to your life. By the end, you'll know exactly what you've been ordering and exactly how you'd used it. As you know, we are 2 Tuesdays from the August 25th release of the book. I'll keep the rest of this practical, just a clear walkthrough so you can decide for yourself. So here's what the book is. The book is a 12-day reset built around the three foundations I just described. Not 12 chapters about my life, 12 days of actual practice. Each day has the same shape. There's a teaching, usually 6 to 10 pages, with stories from my coaching practice and from my own life, so the idea has somewhere to land. Then, a short reflection from A Course in Miracles for people who want that thread. And this is the part that matters: a guided meditative sequence at the end of every chapter called PRE, which stands for Pause, Remember, Experience. A practice I call the power of the pause. If you only ever do the pre-sequence and skip everything else, the book still works. That's on purpose. A little more about pause, remember, experience. Each pre-sequence is a single page or two. There's a mantra at the top, something short you can carry around in your day. Then 3 steps. Step 1, pause. Eyes closed if you can. Slow breath. Notice. Recite the mantra. The point of the pause isn't to clear your mind. It's to interrupt the autopilot that you've made. Step 2, remember. Recall what you actually are. Whole, complete, loved, worthy. Beneath whatever the day is throwing at you, this is where those 3 foundations from the opening come back in. The point of you remembering is that you're not learning anything new. You're recovering something. And step 3, experience. Sit with a sense of having remembered. Don't analyze it. Don't evaluate it. Let it be in the room with you. It's short, 5 to 7 minutes. The first time you do one, it feels like nothing. By day 4 or so, something quietly shifts. That shift is the entire book. So, how do you read the book? This is it. There are a few ways to use the book, and they're all fine. Option 1, the recommended one day per day for 12 days. Read the chapter in the morning. Do the pre-sequence twice, once after reading, once before bed. Keep the mantra with you during the day. And then there's option 2, a slower lane, 1 day per week for 12 weeks. Same shape, just stretched. A great fit if you have a lot going on and want each day to be fully soaked. And option 3, the dip in, dip out. Open to whichever day matches whatever's happening in your life. Day 6, if you're drowning in guilt. Day 11, if you're grieving. Day 5, if life feels overwhelming and you can't stop reacting to it. I've had readers come back to me from all 3. They all work. Pick the one your real life will actually do. Next, I want to talk about the journal study guide and what it does and how it adds to your life. Now, the journal study guide, that is the companion that opens the pre-order this week, and I want to be straight with you about what it is and isn't. The book on its own is a complete thing. You can read it, do the practice, and never need anything else. The journal exists for the kind of person, and a lot of you have told me you are this person, who needs to write the work for it to stick. The journal walks you through each of the 12 days with prompts, 3 to 5 prompts per day. The prompts ask you to apply the mantra to your actual week, not to summarize the chapter. There's also space for the pre-practice notes, what came up in pause, what you remembered, what sense was experienced. If you teach, lead, or facilitate a small group, a recovery circle, a course study, the study guide section is built for you. There's a discussion arc per day with questions designed to keep the conversation on the practice and not an argument. Bottom line, if you read but don't write, just get the book. If you process by writing, get the bundle. So, who this book is and isn't for. Who it's for? Anyone in or curious about the A Course in Miracles community. The cover endorsement is from that community for a reason. It's also for anyone in midlife working through a hard chapter who has done the work for years and is ready to put theory to use. It's for anyone who's tried to meditate and bounced off because the technique felt empty. The pre-practice is meditation with a destination. The book is also for those who are in recovery and may want a little support, practice, or a different way to mix things up. And lastly, it's for everyone, because everyone needs to remember the power of their wholeness. So, who it's not for? People looking for proof of a particular doctrine. People who want a memoir. People who want a productivity system. You can't productivity hack your way to wholeness. That's actually the opposite of what we're doing here. If any and all that captures you, pre-order today. And if I may share why that matters more than you'd think. To be transparent, what your pre-order does is this. Bookstores and platforms decide how visible a book is at launch, based partly on how many people have already said yes before launch day. A book with a healthy pre-order status gets stocked. A book without one quietly disappears. There's no version of this where pre-orders are optional for a first-time author. When I say pre-order, if this is for you, I'm not pitching. I'm telling you the mechanics of how the book reaches the next reader. Every pre-order this week and next is somebody finding the book in September who otherwise wouldn't have. So, pre-order the book and the journal study guide today at perfectlywholebook.com. If you're still on the fence and you have one specific question I didn't answer in this video, leave it in the comments. I'll answer them in the replies and possibly in the next week's video. Until next Tuesday, pause, remember, experience. You're perfectly whole. You just forgot.